Hi there, and welcome to Live Your Life by the Numbers. Today, we're going to do a deeper dive into the one life path number. So, what did I say in the past about the life path number? It is the number one most important number that you have to know if it's your life path number in order to study numerology. It's sort of like, you're born and you're a Leo, or you're an Aries, or you're a Capricorn. Well, in numerology, we study merely 1 through 9, the numbers 1 through 9. And the few master numbers that are out there, which are the 11, the 22, sometimes the 33 and the 44, which I'll discuss, they are higher vibrations of one of those 1 through 9 numbers. They're usually a higher vibration on steroids. And so in numerology, it's very important to know what your life path number is, because just like it's important to know that you're a Capricorn and you have, a Leo rising or something like that, which happens to be me, no surprise, right? It's important in numerology to know the first reason for your existence. So let's do a deep dive and let's go right in and start to look at what the life path number is. Your life path number is basically the number of your highway to success. It is your reason for living. It's why you are here. On another level, we could say that your life path number is it outlines your heroic mission in life. And certainly everybody is born to accomplish an heroic mission. So what happens is when you're born, similar to astrology, you're born at 7:15 or something like that on any given month, day, and year of birth. In numerology, the universe is vibrating, and we all know from the ancient philosophers and the scientists today that the whole world, the whole universe vibrates. Okay, that vibration, by the way, is part of the universal intelligence that's out there. And we are all part of this universal intelligence. We all have this universal intelligence within us. And where does that intelligence, universal intelligence, show up? It shows up in your life path number. So how do we compute the reason for you living, your heroic mission in life, what you can accomplish? You have the goods now. It's not something that you're born with and you have to develop. You have these attributes within you of whatever your 1 through 9 life path number is. It's just identifying what it is and then moving with the flow into it. So let's look at the universal life path number and let's give it an example. Say your birthday was August 25th and that the year you were born was 1957. If we added these numbers together, the total would be 1990. And if we added 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 0, we would come to first the double digit of 19. And there's a reason why I'm underlining that number, because it's a karmic number, which you'll learn all about on another show. But for now, if we reduce the 1 plus 9 of the 19 to a single digit, we get the number 10. And if we add 1 plus 0 in the 10, we come to the 1 life path number. Now, the 19 is a karmic number. As I mentioned, we'll talk about that in another show. For this show, anybody that ends up with a 0 at the end, like a 10 life path number before we reduce it to a 1 or a 20 life path number before we add the 2 plus 0. The 0 at the end of any life path number has a spiritual blessing in it. So this individual would have a karmic lesson and a spiritual lesson. a spiritual blessing in it. And that spiritual blessing would be if you are able to achieve and overcome the karmic numbers, and we're going to talk about this one in a minute, then you get the blessing of, I believe it's the Wheel of Fortune in astrology. So that's in tarot cards, excuse me. So let's look at the famous name Betty Friedan, one of my all-time favorites, an activist, a famous author, the second wave, a leader in the second wave of the women's movement, the co-founder and the president, first president of the National Organization of Women. She was born on February 4th, 1921. So when we add Betty Friedan's numbers 2 plus 4 plus 1921, we get to the total 1927. And again, if we add 1 plus 9 plus 2 plus 7, we come to the karmic number 19. And if we add 1 plus 9 equals 10. So she also has the karmic number 19. Now, the karmic number 19, I'll discuss a little bit later, but it carries with it the misuse of one's force. It could be a very domineering number. It could also be just the opposite. Instead of standing up for yourself, it could be a very passive number. So let's look at what the 1 life path number means. It means you're meant to do. You're the doer. It's your reason for living. You say, I'm number 1. You're an absolute leader if you're born with the number 1 life path. And the number 1 life path is an odd number. The 1, the 3 life path, the 5, the 7, and the 9 are odd numbers. And what is it about the odd numbers? The odd numbers can do things alone. They're very introverted numbers. The 1 number, life path number, is masculine in nature, where the 2 life path number that I've taught you on another episode is a feminine number. The masculine number, 1, is ruled by the sun. Predominantly in its astrological natal chart, you'll often find an Aries or a Leo saying, wow, I'm number 1. And we know that Aries are great starters, okay? The number 1 life path, as I said, is meant to live. It's meant to show leadership, courageousness, action, self-reliant. It's meant to be inventive. It's meant to be original and to individuate. It's the sign of the entrepreneur and the cosmic father, where in the 2 life path number, you will see that that is the cosmic mother. Now, on a passive side, you want to watch for being overly submissive, wavering in nature, appearing more helpless instead of bold and the innovative leader. On a negative side, this is where the karma comes in. Boastful, egocentric, dictatorial, arrogant, too pushy, selfish all the time, a me. Now, in this me, in a former life, you may have taken something from someone else, but you definitely owe society in this life. So it's something that you must give back. Say in a former life or in a former existence, you were capable of being a leader, but instead you did nothing. You left all your leadership qualities on the sideline and lived a life of passivity. Well, you're going to come in this life vibrating with those same leadership capabilities, and you may be seeing other people trying to push you around now in this life. So you learn very quickly how to deal with pushy people. But you have to make sure in this life that you are not overly pushy of others. The 19, like other numbers, some other numbers, have to watch out for their temper. So here we have the concept of polarity, okay? We have the yin and the yang and the passivity in the middle. Now, there is a family of ones. And what is this family of ones that could show up in a life path number? And they all add up to the one life path number. You could end up a 10, a 1, a 19, a 28. 2 plus 8 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. A 37 life path number, which carries an element of a forceful protection, almost on a militant level, protection for the family. The 46 is a lovely life path number. The 46 life path number usually means that you did a lot of favors for other people of a foundational nature and of a responsible nature for other people in a past life. And this year, in this life, you're collecting. It's a real sweet life path number. 55 life path number often shows that you've achieved something on the intellectual level. The 64 life path number goes even higher. You are a respected individual on some level, having to do with your voice. You're dependable because the 6 comes before the 4. The 73 is even higher, a higher master number of a research of an intellectual nature. So all of these numbers add up to the one life path number, but your life path number may be one of these specific double-digit numbers. Now, I have a book out on double-digit numbers. As a matter of fact, I have 4 books out there on Amazon that are about numerology. And I'd really appreciate that you read them and you review them and send me a review, just as if you like this show and you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button below and tell me what famous person whose name and number you would like me to analyze, either their name or their life path number or something specific maybe about them. But my double-digit number, my double-digit book, which is Double Digits, Your Guide to Numerology and the Power of the Double-Digit Number. The reason why I wrote that book last year is because most people in numerology reduce life path numbers and most numbers down to a single digit. But the real power behind what makes me an 8 life path number and you an 8 life path number, or a 1 life path number and me a life path number, and we're completely different. The real descriptive element lies in the double-digit number that exists before we reduce that number down to a single digit. So I wrote a book on double digits. I also have volumes 1 and 2, which are Live Your Life by the Numbers, Your Guide to Numerology, and my favorite book of all, which is Raise Your Kids by the Numbers, Your Child's Guide to Numerology. And that is because children live in the lesser vibration, the earlier undeveloped vibration of the numbers 1 through 9, and the master numbers 11, 22, 33, and 44. And that's because they're too young, and very frequently the vibration is too great and they're unable to rise themselves. They're not developed enough. But as parents and loved ones, if you see that your child or your loved one possesses a master number, you are quite aware then that you know that they can live on a higher, more evolved level, because that's the vibration they chose for themselves. So in this 1 life path number, and talking about Betty Friedan, who's born February 4th, 1921, I think it was. Was it 1921? Let's go back and look. 1921. We can see that Betty Friedan definitely was a powerful woman. And one of the important things is that she put herself out there as a leader in the second wave of the women's movement, the first wave being women's suffrage, the second wave being in, during when now got around in the 70s, the 60s, the 70s, as it continued to develop in the 80s. And we would have no beginnings without the number one life path. It's a very, very important number because they're extremely courageous. They're very brave when they live on the positive aspect and they go out and start things. Now, one of the things that is important, as I mentioned, is they're born to lead. They're born to develop their excellent powers of authority and concentration. They're daring. They're highly inventive. And very early in life, they may have lived on the more reticent side, on the more passive side. And they may have had to develop their number one life path qualities because something suddenly happens in the family. They're thrown out of the cradle early in life, and they're forced to no longer be timid, but to be courageous. Now, their additional characteristics: they're better starters than finishers. They often pass off to the number two, who prefers to not be the leader, but to be more cooperative and persuasive, and to take the elements or the aspect or the projects that the number ones give them and to develop them with their finite sense of being able to bring people of like-mindedness, this is the two life path, together for a specific project. The number ones are great teachers, great lawyers, great business heads, but as I mentioned, they need other people to finish for them. They don't like anything dull at all, and they don't like anything dirty. And maybe that's because they prefer to live on the cleaner side of life. They don't like anything that is commonplace, and they don't like bullies. And sometimes I think they don't like bullies because they're really seeing themselves from a former life coming and going. They love a compelling life. They are always in motion. And let's look at some of the oddities. Some of the oddities of the one life path is that in an early aspect of their life, maybe when they're little kids, you'll see the number one might have a little scar somewhere between here and the upper area of their heads, their foreheads. Sometimes you see that in the Aries as well. And as I mentioned, they could have been bounced out of complacency by something that happened in the family, a sudden divorce in the family, a death in the family, where they have to go from behind the scenes, say, go out at an early age and get a life, get a job. Something suddenly happens in the family where they are forced to stand up on their own 2 feet. So their leadership abilities surface through some form of accident or happen suddenly in life. And as I mentioned, the characteristics that belong to the one family are even the characteristics that are karmic that we're going to see in a later show. It's up there right now, the karmic life path numbers. So again, if you've enjoyed this show on the one life path number, please like and subscribe to my show. I'm very interested in what you have to say, and I'm interested in your review of my books. That would be very, very appreciative. And I'm very, very open to any famous person you would like me to discuss their life path number, or you'd like me to analyze their name. Just throw it in the chat and let me hear from you. I want you all to remember that this day is, as every day is, more precious than you think. So please don't find yourself living a life where your music is still inside of you. Get it out, write that book, start that podcast or that show that you're looking forward to. And remember to live your life by the numbers. Please review my books. And if you like them, give me some kind of review so I know what I'm, how well I'm doing. Everybody likes to know how well they're doing. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon with another episode of Live Your Life by the Numbers. So bye for now.